Hello friends, my name is Vaibhav Chate and today I would like to discuss about the experimental procedure for determining the DO test. So the apparatus that we have used in this particular experiment are the burette with stand, the measuring cylinder, the conical flask. We are going to make use of the pipette. The chemicals that are going to be used in the DO test are going to be the manganese sulfate, alkali iodide azide, concentrated sulfuric acid, starch indicator, and titrant we are going to use is the sodium thiosulfate of 0.025 normality. So in this case what I have done, I have collected the BOD bottle and in that one we have collected the water sample whose DO concentration has to be determined. So the capacity of the bottle you can see is 300 ml. So in this one we are going to add 2 ml of manganese sulfate and 2 ml of alkali iodide azide. As the capacity of the bottle is 300 ml, we have added 2 ml of manganese sulfate. That means excess amount of water will be getting spilled because the bottle capacity itself is 300 ml. So the 2 ml additionally will be adding that particular solution. That's why the remaining top water has got spilled out. After that we will be adding the alkali iodide azide. We will be closing the cap and inverting the bottle 3 to 5 times. So that the mixing will be proper and we can see a brown precipitate that is being formed. So this indicates that some amount of dissolved oxygen is present. So initially we have taken a BOD bottle and we have filled the BOD bottle completely with the tap water or any water sample that we would like to test it for the presence of DO concentration in it. So immediately we will be closing the cap and we will be making use of manganese sulfate and we will be making use of alkali iodide azide. So each one of the solution will be added with a quantity of 2 ml into the BOD bottle. So excess amount of water will be getting spilled as and when we are going to close the cap. We are going to invert the bottle 3 to 5 times. So we have got brown precipitate. If we are going to get brown precipitate, it indicates that there is presence of dissolved oxygen. If we are going to get white precipitate, it indicates that either the sampling time is wrong or the sample from where it has been collected itself is wrong or the DO is absent. So we have to repeat this particular test once again till we get the brown precipitate. So the collection of the sample should be from a particular sampling position only or sampling location. That means we need to carry out some initial work before going for the sampling. Either it might be with respect to grab sampling, composite or integrated sampling. It might be with respect to timing. If you are going to collect the sample in the morning, so you may get brown precipitate. If you are going to collect the sample in the afternoon, during which the temperature will be high, that means the dissolved oxygen will be minimum. So in that case you may get white precipitate. So if you would like to get the brown precipitate, so it's better always to check the water for dissolved oxygen concentration during the morning, preferably before 8 o'clock in the morning. So since we already got that there is presence of the dissolved oxygen, now we are going to add 2 ml of sulfuric acid to dissolve the brown precipitate that is being formed. So make sure you are not going to go for mouth pipetting, because the chemical solution should not be pipetted out by making use of mouth pipetting method. Since we are adding concentrated sulfuric acid, so we should be very careful. Again, we need to invert the water 3 to 5 times to dissolve the precipitate. So we have added 2 ml of concentrated sulfuric acid to dissolve the precipitate. Earlier it was brown precipitate. Now we have got yellow colored liquid after the addition of the sulfuric acid. So we have dissolved the precipitate here. You can see it. Now, what the next step is, how much quantity of the solution needs to be taken for the titration part. Since we have taken 300 ml of the water sample, but we have added 2 ml of manganese sulfate and 2 ml of alkyl iodide, that means actual quantity of the sample present in the BOD bottle is 300 minus 4, that means we have got 296. So that means the quantity of the sample or the solution to be taken for the titration is going to be 200 multiplied by 300 divided by 300 minus 4, because we will be taking it for the standard of 200 and 300. So because of that, 200 multiplied by 300 divided by 300 minus 4, that means we are going to get the answer nearly 203 ml. So that means we are going to pipette out 203 ml. Now, as I told, we should collect 203 ml of the solution for the titration. Let us do that. So for that, I will be making use of the measuring cylinder of 100 ml capacity. So make sure it's of not C grade quality, because the accuracy with which you will be conducting the experiment should be very high. So always refer to the lower meniscus reading, not the upper meniscus. So 203 ml of the solution will be transferred into the conical flask. So I have measured 200 ml of the mixture and transferred it into the conical flask. Now we should make sure that the the quantity of the sample that is being taken in the conical flask should be exactly 203 ml. So that means for that reason I will be making use of the pipette. So make sure the pipette is very clean. Right now I am making use of the 10 ml pipette. Now what we have done is, initially we have taken the water sample in a BOD water to its full capacity. Later on we have added 2 ml of manganese sulfate and 2 ml of alkali iodide, right? The actual quantity of sample present in the BOD bottle is going to be 300 minus 4, that means 296 ml. We got brown precipitate because DO was present. If DO is absent, then we are going to get the white precipitate. For this particular case, we have got brown precipitate. For that case, we will be going with the further steps with the addition of 2 ml of concentrated H2SO. After adding that, we are going to get yellow colored liquid. So, how much quantity of the sample has to be taken? 203, that is 200 multiplied by 300 divided by 300 minus 4, you are going to get 203. So, that is being taken in the conical flask. Now we are going to titrate. So make sure you are going to add the indicator. So we are going to add the starch indicator. Around 3 drops, and we are going to get a blue color, and we are going to titrate it against sodium thiosulfate of 0.025 normality till we get colorless. So let us do that. The initial burette reading is 0. Let us check for the final burette reading. So the difference between the final and the initial, we are going to get volume of the titrant consumed. So we are going to do that. So make sure continuous stirring is there while adding the titrant into the conical flask. So we need to add the titrant dropwise. You should not be in a hurry to complete the experiment. So don't look at the burette because you need to continuously observe the color change. Let the reading be anything. So we have got the final color as colorless. So that means we have taken 203 ml of the yellow colored solution. To this one we have added 3 drops of starch indicator. We have titrated it against sodium thiosulfate of 0.025 normality till the color changes from blue to colorless. So note down the burette reading. Now at present the initial burette reading we have got was around 2.7 and the final burette reading we have got it as 2.8. So what is the concentration of dissolved oxygen in the water sample that we have tested for? That means the final burette reading is 2.8, initial burette reading is 0. That means volume of titrate consumed is 2.8 minus 0. That means we are going to get 2.8 ml of the sodium thiosulfate. Right? That is being consumed to change the color from blue to colorless. Multiplied by normality of the titrate is 0.025. Multiplied by equivalent weight of oxygen is 8 divided by volume of the sample taken is 203. So that means A minus B, that is 2.8 minus 0, that is the burette reading difference. So 2.8 multiplied by 0.025 multiplied by 8 divided by 203 ml. So that means we have to convert the ml to liter because we want the concentration in terms of mg per liter. So burette reading, that is 2.8 multiplied by 0.025 multiplied by 8 divided by 203. Since it is in ml, converted to liter, so we are going to get 2.8 multiplied by 0.025 multiplied by 8 multiplied by 1000 whole divided by 203. That means we are going to get nearly 2.7 mg per liter. So the dissolved oxygen in this particular water sample is 2.7 mg per liter. So what it indicates? Dissolved oxygen concentration, if it is less, that means either the temperature of the water is more or the organic pollutants are more. And what will be its effect? If this water is present, or if this water is flowing in the river, or if it is present in the lake or pond where dissolved oxygen concentration is less than 4, it will kill the aquatic animals. That's where we can come to conclusion. Thank you very much.